Dr. Ben, as a functional doctor and an epigeneticist, how would you explain the effects of this bitter acid on reducing belly fat?
Let's say you have a vehicle that's not running as well as it used to when it was brand new. You take it to a mechanic, what do? They hook up a little device and reads for and looks for these codes that's going on inside that vehicle. And that something's wrong with the electrical system, it'll show multiple codes and they have to go figure out which code to unwind or correct first. That's what the vagus nerve does. It connects the brain to the body. It is the largest, biggest nerve in the entire system, and it is unique because there's over 1,100 different communication points that happen inside this body.
Why is it significant that you compare the body to a car?
Like the car, if the system is misfiring, you're not going to get good signals from the engine or whatever part of the car that it is back into the computer so it can analyze what's happening. That's kind of what the vagus nerve of the vagal system does. The human body runs very similar on an electrical system and an oil-based system and then a fuel-based system.
So what happens when I take this bitter acid?
It's going to start breaking down all these other components of rancid fats, or what we call fat rancidity. And fats everywhere, from the brain to the bone, from the eyeballs to the chest, to the breast, to the gut. There's visceral fat, subcutaneous fat. There's brown adipose tissue. There's bone adipose tissue. There's nerve adipose tissue. If you continue to run your car on bad fuel and bad oil, what's going to happen? Something's going to blow. As things start misfiring and not working right, they start turning themselves down, or the brain no longer pay attention to it. And that's what we see that these fats that become rancid actually do. They're inflammatory. It starts interrupting the signals that nerve, that vagus nerve and vagal system are sending out. And now the signal is misplaced, or it's sent and it misfires and the body doesn't know what's going on.
So what happens when I take this bitter acid?
When you take this bitter acid, it turns on the circulatory system, but it takes time to go out and come all the way back. And so over time, as we're seeing different things improve over time. Some get immediate results. About 18% of the people get quick results. We saw another 17, 18%, 22 and 18%. So another 18% that they didn't get results for 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months on some of those people. Right? Because the body was having to go in and rebuild its circulatory system, the communication system from the brain to the body back up to the brain.
You're saying that this bitter acid activates the vagus nerve, which is the command center that regulates fat burn and storage. Not only that, but in some people, their electrical system may have been not functioning well for a long time. So the body has to repair that first. That's why it can take some people some time to see the effects of this bitter acid. When the communication system is functioning better, the person gets much more benefits than just reducing belly fat.
When you start tearing down and getting rid of all those inflammatory conditions in the body, guess what? You're now saving energy, because the energy that you're using to fight those conditions now can be turned around and used to rebuild those conditions.